Let's review finding the LCD, or the least common denominator. To find the LCD, we look at the denominators of the fractions in which we're adding or subtracting. The LCD is the product of all different factors from each denominator, with each factor raised to the greatest power that occurs in any denominator. So let's look at example 2a. What I first do is compare the coefficients. So we're looking at 5 and 2. The common denominator of fractions that have denominators of 5 and 2 would be 10. Now, when we're comparing our variables, we look at the exponent. We choose the one with the highest exponent. So in this case, we have x to the first and x to the third, so we would choose x to the third power. And for our factors of y, we have y squared and y to the first power, so we choose y to the second power. So the LCD would be 10x cubed y squared. Our next example, we have k minus 3 and k. To find our LCD for these two factors, all we do is actually multiply the two factors together. So our LCD would be k times the quantity k minus 3. In our last two examples, we'll need to factor first. So we'll factor our first factor, and we factor that to y minus 4 times y plus 2. And our second one factors to y plus 2 times y plus 1. In writing our LCD, remember, we include each factor. So in this case, our LCD would be y minus 4 times y plus 2 times y plus 1. We do not repeat y plus 2 because we include the factor the most times that it occurs in any factor. So in other words, since we factored y squared minus 2y minus 8 to y minus 4 times y plus 2, the most times that y plus 2 occurred for that particular factor was once. And the same with the second. When we factor that, we got y plus 2 times y plus 1. So the most times that that factor y plus 2 occurred was one time. Let's look at the next example. We first factor. In this case, we'll remove the greatest common factor of 8. And that gives us 8 times the quantity z minus 3. The second one factors to 5z times the quantity z minus 3. So now again, I compare the coefficients 8 and 5. The LCD of 8 and 5 would be 40. Now we have a factor of z that's alone with the 5, factor of 5, and we include that. And also the z minus 3, the most times that it occurs, which is one time. So now our LCD would be 40z times the quantity z